Rick and Terry, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you guys doing today?
You're good.
All right, so you are back with a new project called Left to Die, right?
Yes. Yep.
How did Left to Die came to be? And he's taking that sip. And a chaser.
Very sorry, I didn't know that was going to come to me.
No, I mean,
I made a phone call to Mr. Gus Rios and asked him a question. He said there's a bear shit in the woods, and basically he felt that Matt would be on board, and my main question, would Terry be interested in doing it? So.
And Terry, how did this happen? Supposedly this happened last time we spoke.
Yeah.
Or minutes after.
It didn't. Yeah. Well, we did the Left to Die, not Left to Die. We did the Living Monstrosity tribute in December in Tampa, and kind of out of the ashes of that, Rick posted, a question, anyone interested in Leprosy tour kind of thing, and that it just took off, like you said. Everyone jumped on board, and we all thought it would be a great idea, and it grew super fast. Like, yeah, we said yes. Before you know it, we have a booking agent. Shows are being booked. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Rick, looks like you're the brains behind this operation here.
I'm the question. It was a question. There's no brains. And we have to thank Mr. Matt Harvey, because he had all those connections to make all that happen.
Yeah.
And
So once you thought of this project, what was the initial plan?
there was no plan. It was a question. I didn't know it was going to happen. I hadn't talked to Terry in years.
But once Terry agreed, you got everybody else on board.
Yeah, I was scared shitless.
What was and once you got past your fear,
there's still fear, man. Are you kidding me? I got to play these songs every night.
Like we said,
But it's fun.
it just took off. It went from a question posed to yes, let's do it, to Matt's like, okay, well, let's try it, to our booking agent, and it just happened real quick. And before you know it, people are interested. You got social sites set up, tours getting set up, and everyone seemed to be really excited about it. So.
Very surprised.
And yeah, it's obviously was scary and exciting all in one, because you don't know what's going to happen. Could be everyone could be hating it, and like 6 people show up at every show throwing eggs at us, but it's been the opposite of that. So.
Musically, what did you have in mind?
Musically,
What songs did you want to play?
Well, obviously we're going to do we're doing the whole Leprosy record, and then the rest of the guys thought it'd be cool to throw in some Scream Bloody Gore songs to make the set a little longer, because there's only 8 songs on Leprosy. And but really, I had nothing in mind. It was a question. All I did was call Gus. He accepted my call, and I was like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a Leprosy tribute?" And he said, "There's a bear shit in the woods." And then he went on and got a hold of Matt and got a hold of Terry, and then it was agreed upon, and it happened. And like Terry said, all of a sudden there's a tour booked, and I was like, "Holy crap! I got to learn these songs." So, and I still don't know.
And
It was a seed that was planted with a question, and it's taken off and growing into a tree and a forest now. So, yeah.
so how long did it take you to get ready, music-wise? I mean, you haven't played these songs for a long time, with exception maybe 1 or 2, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, the style of play and all that was very familiar to me, because that's what I've been doing ever since then with Massacre and with Obituary and Inhuman Condition. So the chops were there. It's just the memory part had to come in. Some of those songs haven't been played 30 plus years, so my brain had to get used to hearing them again.
Okay.
But it came back pretty good.
Rick, what was it like for you to revisit those songs? Learn them again.
Like I said, I was pretty scared, and I was a little lazy. I really didn't attack it right away, and but yeah, it's going well now, because it's real.
You already played a couple of shows. How are things looking?
They've been great. The shows have been great. It's been more than a couple. We're like right at the halfway point, so we've done like 10, 11 shows, and yeah, like I'm very surprised how it's been accepted, and people are really enjoying it, and that's a really good feeling, to be honest with you. Plus, the guys that we're all doing this together, and everybody's really, really pro, and has their their stuff together. So it really sounds good, and we're getting a lot of very good feedback.
Terry, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, the same. I mean, it's been great. The shows have been very positive. People are really into it. Younger kids are there as well, and it's fun to get up there and play. You know, play with these songs with Rick after all these years. And hats off to Matt and Gus, the job they've done. I mean, it's amazing. They've busted their ass to help make this sound very good.
And you mentioned you had special visitors at one of the shows.
Yes, the very first show, Chuck's sister, I'm sorry, showed up, and his nephew Christopher showed up, and they loved it. They gave us their blessings, and they had a good time. It was very, very emotional night on some levels, you know.
When you play this material now on stage, are you adding anything new to it, or are you just playing it the way it was originally written?
We're staying pretty true to exactly how it was written, pretty much. Yeah, there might be an extra squeal or a bass slide here and there, but it's pretty much the same.
Rick, when you play these songs nowadays, any surprises coming at you?
Every song's a surprise because I'm still learning them all. But yeah, it's good. It sounds great, man. I've got a great guys to cover my boo-boos. So it's a lot of fun.
Considering how well this tour is going, do you anticipate any further Left to Die shows?
Absolutely. I mean, we got to figure out the opening slots, you know, between the various different bands that we're in, what section of the calendar is available. But we definitely want to do some more. You know, we do the whole West Coast. There's all of Europe, South America. There's a lot of places we can still play. So.
When the tour was first announced, I'm sure there were probably some mixed emotions, some comments. What's the most surprising things you heard?
I mean, I never read the comments on anything because no matter how good something is, someone's always going to try and crap on it. So, in my eyes, it's all been pretty positive for me. I haven't read anything bad, but hey.
And I think seeing the sold-out crowd upstairs kind of answers that question.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of killer shows on this run anyhow, so.
Since you're concentrating on Leprosy, let's talk about that album. What do you remember from writing and recording that record?
Just being scared to death being in the studio for one, but I thought it was amazing, you know, because a year before that really wasn't doing anything, and now all of a sudden we're in the studio recording. To me, it was an amazing time. Just watching these guys record the songs were amazing.
Rick, what are your thoughts? Going back to Leprosy writing and recording sessions?
It was good times, you know what I mean? It was the very first record I ever got to play on, and co-wrote the songs with Chuck, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. We all had a lot of fun in the studio.
We were pretty close together.
Yeah, we were a pretty close-knit band, and yeah, it was good stuff.
When you were recording this album, did you realize you're onto something special?
No.
You just felt like another record?
Well, it was my very first record. I mean, it's special because it's my very first record, but as far as like thinking this is going to be some groundbreaking thing, no, I was writing music with freaking my friends, you know what I mean?
There is a large group of people or Death fans who consider Leprosy to be the main album. How do you feel about that?
That's pretty fucking badass.
Okay. Barry?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a perfect little mix of melody and brutality. And I think it's a genre-defining record, you know, in my opinion. So many bands wanted to go to Morrisound after we did that album, you know what I mean? So definitely did something right.
So I assume you rate the album very high to this day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very high.
Now, shortly after the release of Leprosy, you took part in Ultimate Revenge 2.
Yes.
Can you explain what it was and give me some of your thoughts?
All right. Ultimate Revenge came out in '85. Had Slayer, Exodus, and Venom. It was hugely popular. And Combat had the idea to do part 2 in Philadelphia at the Trocadero Theater. It was Raven, Dark Angel, Death, Faith or Fear, and Forbidden. And I have great memories of that. All the bands were hanging out at the hotel together. Then we played the show. Then we're hanging out at the hotel again after the show. And it was great times, good times. It was packed, sold out. It was a good time for metal, good time for death metal. And I had a great time.
Excellent. Rick, what are your thoughts from Ultimate Revenge 2?
Oh,
What do you remember?
it was a blast. I remember everything. It was great. The opening track, I hit bad notes. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's there forever. But yeah, I love it. It's good stuff. Great time.
For some reason, that videotape never made it to DVD. Any reasons why?
Yeah, because I think it was lost. No one knew where it was at. The whole, recording and all that. It has since been found, and there's a legal nightmare going on with it. Like there was a point where just the Death set was going to be released as a DVD on its own.
Which kind of brings me to the next question, because I know that set exists. I have a copy of it, not the best copy, but there is a full set.
Yeah, there is. They found it. They found all of it. And Eric told me that they found it, and it was a person that used to work at Combat had it. And they were, at some point, they were going to release it as a standalone DVD of just the Death set. So maybe one day it will come out.
Now there's another Death tribute, Death to All, that's been going on for the last few years. How come neither one of you never took part in it?
I was personally asked a couple times if I wanted to, but I was busy with Obituary. So, it just didn't work out that way.
Rick, were you ever approached?
Yeah, I was approached, but it just didn't work out to happen,
So finally, playing this music night after night, what memories of Chuck are coming back to you?
That's a difficult question. It's not like and I mean no disrespect to the dead, but I'm not dwelling on Chuck. It's the music we wrote together. It's more the music, and the guys that I'm doing this with are doing it justice. I mean, Matt and Gus are, obviously really, really big Death fans. So that's flattering in its own. So let alone Matt Harvey has two huge jobs to fill as far as vocals and guitar solos. It's amazing. He's bringing it, and it's been very positive. And the same thing with Gus. It's dead on. You know what I mean? It's pretty much 99.9% perfection. I mean, boo-boos happen here and there, but it's minimal, and people are really digging it. So, yeah.
Terry?
Yeah, I mean, while we're playing, sometimes I have a certain memory here and there, random, of being on tour with Chuck or talking to Chuck. You know what I mean? Nothing that I can remember at the moment, just little things when we were on tour in the past. But because my career, at least, that was a huge starting point, getting into Death, and that, so I always have fond memories of that whole time.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.